Hey everybody. Hey everybody. This is the second episode to the GetRready Podcast, and right now we are going to interview Dakota Ireland. Now, I've known Dakota for a couple of maybe about a year and a half now. Great person, doing a lot. She's a great language teacher. You know, she went to university, and it's a lot of stuff we get into this episode. This episode, I sit down and talk with her, and we just kind of go over a lot of cool subjects. So there's a lot of things you're gonna hear. We go from kind of humble beginnings. We go from from going to school. We talk a little bit of politics. We talk a little bit about residential schools, and of course everything that flows it together. So it's a pretty nice podcast. I really enjoyed it. It was really awesome, and I just want to say that it was besides it being a fun time, it was very educational as well, and it was a great time. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy I hope you enjoy this episode, and stay tuned for an afterthought.
Okay, so you're gonna know when it's working?
Yeah, it's going right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're on, yeah.
Okay.
So?
Not much.
Not much yet, but, well, I guess one of the things I want to start with was, one of the things I was going to do with people, as I kind of necessarily thought, is when we first, I just want to bring this up, that I think the first time I met you, I thought I met you before, but I guess I'm not. So
Yeah.
one of the things I thought was when I saw you at the movies. Remember when we saw episode 7? And all of us were there? That was the first time.
Yeah.
Because I was still kind of fresh with Ashley too, because it was back in 2015. So that's when kind of started first meeting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of the first time I saw you, and she was always talking about you anyways, because you guys are super buddies.
Super buddy.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's why I just want to always kind of bring people up in the way I kind of remember them seeing them the first time.
Yeah, that was my first time actually seeing you too. So yeah, I remember that with your family and
Yeah, there was a mob of us.
yeah.
What was it? I think that was episode 7, so I think there was 21 tickets that we did that day, and then
a couple at night too, right?
yeah, then we stayed. I fell asleep, but and Suggo fell asleep too.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember you were on the opposite side of Suggo, and we couldn't see you. Me and Ashley were just you can't even see you because you were behind him, but then Suggo was passed out, so I was like, that's kind of weird. But
yeah.
I don't know, it was kind of funny, I thought.
Yeah. I know, I was surprised he stayed. I thought he was going to leave.
I think it was the hype because it was episode 7. That's why we all stayed so long, to be like, oh, okay, let's just find out what's happening or see what this movie's about.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted on the movie now, but I still like it.
Which one?
The first one, episode 7.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, that's what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I liked it. So is this episode 8 coming out in December?
Yeah, that's what's coming out now.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for it.
Looks awesome. Ryan Johnson. And he's also going to do episode 10, 11, and 12 after.
Really?
Yeah, he's one guy, finally.
Holy.
Kind of tired of 7 directors doing different films, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Ashley didn't tell me too much about you right away. I mean, she did, but she kept thinking I already knew you, and I was like, no, I know of Suggo, and I think I've even heard of Doongi, but I never heard of you or your brother Sanal.
It's funny. There's a couple people like that.
Really?
Sanal told me a story maybe a couple of years ago. I think he was at the Longhouse, and there was a woman that didn't know that I was born.
Oh, okay.
So I forgot how the story went, but I know she said something oh, that's one of Cheryl's boys. She was like, oh, really? What? I thought she only had 3, and you're like, no, she had another one. she had another one with who? And they're like, well, it was still with Bob. She went back with Bob. Like, it was all real, like, so you're like, one was like freaking out real hard, but I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'm, it's kind of funny when I think about that. Some people, I guess, don't know there's 4 of us.
Yeah. Well, that's fine, because that's what happens to my youngest sister, too, Kyla.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I didn't even know there was a younger one, like, than Shayna.
I think there's only 2 of yous.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, I'm always the one that's forgotten. Like, oh, don't feel bad. Yeah. So was there anything specific that you had to ask?
Not really. It's kind of just hanging out.
Just hanging out?
Yeah, I actually, this is like kind of like more or less like we're just kind of hanging out, conversation kind of thing.
Okay.
I always date back to thinking if you wanted to get an idea, it would be like when we were on our way to Wisconsin.
Right.
And me and you just kind of chilled out the whole like couple hours.
Yeah.
Because Ashley passed out in the back.
Yeah.
That'd be the kind. Yeah, that'd be the kind of deal, like the kind of thing.
Oh, okay. That makes me wish I had a coffee. I don't know what it is about coffee. It's just like, yeah.
Well, kind of makes sense, right? Just having it there just in case.
Yeah. Coffee or tea.
I drink way too much coffee.
How many do you have?
I'm going to say not on a bad day, but a good day, I'd probably... No, let's just reverse it. On a bad day, I'd probably have about like an equivalent to maybe a pot and a half.
Holy.
Like I drink a lot, and it's not even like, oh, I need it. I just drink it. There's days I just drink it. Like
really?
I won't even need it. I'll just drink it. Like today, I was making food, and I was just drinking it to drink it. Like I made some, and then Snow took some, but then I was like, I'll just drink the rest, and I just drank the rest before I came here. So I don't know. I don't really need it. I just drink it all the time. That's all.
Do you even like feel any of the effects or anything?
No.
No.
Like I remember drinking like a large coffee, and an hour later I went to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't even stay up or nothing. I just go to sleep and just pass out. So.
You know what Todd told me? He said that it's actually better if you drink the coffee, then take a little nap, and when you get up, the effects are even stronger. I don't know where he heard that, but that's what he said.
It'd be interesting to try, because there's times I drank coffee and I got tired, so I did take a nap. Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear that, though? That there's an argument against napping? Like,
kind of, yeah, but I'm for it.
You're for naps?
Yeah, even though I don't do it.
I mean, I can get it, but I heard somebody to argue against to say that it's not natural to nap because, like, why are we sleeping midway through the day? Like when you think about certain people, I guess like farmers back in the old days, they got up and they were up the whole day, and then they went to sleep when the sun went down, and came up when the sun gets up. So it's like a cycle. Mm-hmm. But then somebody said it's good to nap, because then I saw I guess kind of like the science behind the nap. Mm-hmm. Like if you nap an hour, it's way too long. They say the best time to nap is 20 minutes. That's the prime time to hit is 20 minutes, and you have enough rest and everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'm conflicted. I don't like napping because I feel like I'm wasting my day.
Yeah.
Like if I lay down, I go to sleep for not a couple hours, but like just like even like half an hour, an hour, I feel like could have did something productive. Like I don't know, that's just me, but I know some people like naps, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of the same way. Like Todd will like say, "Why don't you take a nap then if you're so tired?" And I'm like, "No, because I'd rather sleep the whole night and just like push through it."
Yeah.
And I always do. Like, I could probably count how many times I've actually napped. And I have to be like literally like, exhausted.
Yeah, like just really tired kind of a thing.
Like where your brain can't even like really function.
I know, I was feeling that last night. I think I went out with, me and Ashley went to the mall and stuff, kind of hung out. I took her around places, and then when I dropped her off, and when I got home, I was supposed to make food today, last night, but I didn't. I was just like, I'm not doing any of this. Like I just went to my room and just basically like brushed my teeth and went to sleep, because there's no way. I was just gonna be too tired. Because then like when I cook it, especially at night, I gotta let it cool for like an hour.
Yeah.
Then I put it in the fridge, because I don't want like condensation and like the heat to stay in there, and all that weirdness, and your food gets all tastes funny after. So yeah, I had to change it around, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of naps. If I get to say anything, if it comes down to anything. But, oh yeah, you went to university for 4 years, right?
Degree-wise, 4 years, but like altogether, I was there for 6.5, or it took me 6.5 years because of my break. That's what it was.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I've always thought about university and everything. I never did do it. I did heavily think about doing it after I was done college. When I got done culinary, I always thought about doing it because there's, I think what they call the Promise Program for Haudenosaunee people. That they're I think the Secretariat might have been doing. Not entirely sure on that, so if somebody wants to correct me, they can. But it was like if you're Haudenosaunee, they can send you to certain universities and they'll pay for everything. And the only reason why I learned of this because my dad is the one who
Right.
told me about this, and he told me in Snow because we're almost done school, and I almost went, but then I cheaped out.
Mm-hmm.
Also too, I didn't know what to take. Like I really had no idea what I was gonna take anyway. But because you went to college, right?
Yeah, for 1 year.
So what can you tell me the difference between college to university?
I can tell you, but at the same time, I feel like I wished I were in college longer to really see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I did go back to college for a totally different program, but then I realized like it wasn't for me. So then I left, and then I went back again. Oh yeah, that's how that worked. I went back again because I was pretty sure I wanted to work with children, right?
Yep.
So I started in the ECE program.
Okay.
And I was excited about it. And that's actually when that stuff went down. You know, that video we literally just worked on?
Yep.
That was when I got injured.
Mm.
So it affected my ability to stay in school.
Oh, okay.
So I left again. Then I just like took that whole year off. But I worked at getting into university because I thought, well, why not just go for it? Because I was told in Nokikwe when I was getting my what the hell is that called, GED.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like, you know, I went on to Fanshawe and Western, and she's like, I never saw myself doing that. And I was like, neither do I. But I went off to Fanshawe for that 1 year, and then yeah, the other stuff I told you about.
Yep.
And then I just thought, why don't I just try Western? So like, I didn't have a real goal either when I started there. I actually joined the psychology program.
Mm-hmm.
But then I changed it. I think it was my second year. I switched it.
Was it just too much, or?
There are certain requirements you need to get it. Like if you wanted to do an honors spec or even a major.
Yeah.
And one of them is like statistics and some sort of math and all that stuff. And I had a hard time. Like I was really trying to get it, but I don't know why my brain was just not, it was not putting it together. I don't know what happened because I used to really like math, but now I'm not a math person.
Just no.
Yeah, like I can do the basic stuff, like everyday life, like
Yep.
percentage and fractions and all that, but anything else, I'm like, I don't want to know that.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
anymore.
yeah, I never liked math. When I did my GED, I just got 450. You know, like the minimum is
Yeah.
450. I just got 450. The only thing I
Really?
failed on my first GED test was science.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
else went easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I just passed math. I've never been so happy in my life. And then I saw science and I was like, it's kind of weird out of all things to fail.
Yeah, I know, because like I didn't even understand how a GED book could teach you science. I don't know, it was weird. I don't even remember the test now, but I know the only one I really studied for was the math.
Yep.
And I think it was the science too, and then I felt ready enough in like English and all those other ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the highest I got was essay. You know how you write an essay?
Yeah.
Because when I was doing GED, I first summer to get ready for it, I worked with Kelly Nicholas. She was doing a program that worked for GED stuff.
Yeah.
So I would go there, I think it was 2 or 3 times a week. I think it might have been twice. And I did that, and that's all mainly I did was essays. So I just wrote like 2 essays every time I was there. Write 2 out, give it to her, and then I would just work on other stuff, and then she'd give it back and say, you can't do this, you can't put brackets in your essay, like you can't write hee and stuff like that in there. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know, because I would have wrote that. And I think I was using Deganisms, as people call them, like, you know, like I would say, oh yeah, like it's like a slice of life. So it's like stuff.
That really threw you off. It threw me off too.
I thought somebody was coming in. So I was like, all right.
I'm just like, why is the door opening? No one's there. Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, so that's, I don't know, that's just what I always thought with GED was this. I had to go, I went to school for it. I was in Jinkweli Hoda, and I think I left at age 14, I think. I can't remember. Maybe 14 or 15. And I remember one morning getting up in my mom, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to leave for school because it's like 9:30.
Yeah.
And I went to get up to get ready, and my mom always gets mad when we're late. So then I came downstairs thinking we're going to leave, and she was like, you know, you might as well stay here. Like, you know, there's really no reason for you to go there because they're not doing as much, in a sense. Like, they were teaching, but she thought I could probably just learn just as much here as there.
Yeah.
And this has to go not with the traditions, but just the actual teaching part, like math, English and stuff.
Yeah, like the Ontario curriculum.
Yeah, so I worked on it at home for a while before I went to an adult learning center across the river. I can't honestly remember what it was called specifically.
Was it hang on. Anishinaabe Skinu? Does that sound familiar?
Was it in a building? Like in of course it was in a building. Working out of a cave.
Oh, was it in the daycare?
Yeah, Sue Galliant was the teacher.
Oh, okay.
That was her name. I'm pretty sure it was Galliant.
Maybe you went there. How old were you when you went there?
I had to be in there for maybe about 2 years, 3 years, because I went to, let's see, I'm pretty sure I went to college when I was 21, I think. Like, I did general arts and science, you know.
That's what I did.
The lame thing, but I went to that first, but I'm pretty sure, so I might have been 20. I swear I had to be in there when I was like 18, 19. Felt like I was there for 2 years, like just trying to study for that GED. I could have went there way earlier. I don't know why I was like taking so long, but.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean because I was working at it too, but I was in London at Nokikwe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when it was downtown.
Yep.
Now it's like by the mall.
Yeah, near Wellington and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering that because I used to go to that school across the river.
Yep.
But that was when I was a lot younger. Like 15 and 16. And not beyond that though. And then
yeah, I was a little bit older because I think I'm a year older than you. Because aren't you the same age as Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a year older than you then. So I'm pretty sure I went there when I was 18, 19.
Yeah, see, I went there earlier when it was Jim running it.
Jimmy.
And then, yeah, you must have went there later on. I didn't even know if it still existed.
I think it does. I think
it moved because
Again?
I've seen it at Oneida. Like, I've seen some students come in, like, trying to get their GED or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it's, like, combined now or if they're separate. I really don't know. But there is still a couple of programs down here for it.
Like just GED or? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they teamed up, I guess. I heard... How did this happen? I think it did move, some of it, because I remember hearing something, Dungy was going there.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going for his GED, and I remember at some point, it was gone through Muncie, wasn't it, or was it Chippewa?
I remember Chippewa.
I think it was Chippewa, because I remember at some point they said they didn't want Oneida students.
Holy.
Because I'm pretty sure Dungy heard something about that, so he got moved down here. And the guy, and at the employment training, they put him in there because he said Wolverine was his teacher because the guy looked like Wolverine. I can't remember his name.
I heard of him. But
yeah, like that's what he said. He said that guy because I remember hearing Dungy would just like tease the heck out of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember something like that. Anyways, that was part of that. So I remember, anyways. Yeah, that's how that happened. Yeah. Now I don't want to like throw that out there, but that's just what I heard.
Yeah.
Somebody would correct me on this podcast and go ahead, but. I'm just saying that's just what I remember hearing, something like that they moved all the students from there to here. I'm not sure if it was just Oneida or it was all of Chippewa too, and they all moved them down here.
Yeah, because I did notice that, like, they're like, oh, that's in Oneida now or whatever, because I was telling my sister about it if she wanted to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and they said to go over to employment training for that. So I really don't know if it's separate or together or whatever, but it exists anyway, so go get your GEDs.
Yeah, go get them.
Your good enough diploma.
It's not general education diploma or something, but like it's just good enough diploma. Yeah. That's better, I think.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Man, and forever remember that.
Yep, just pass it on.
Well, yeah, because I've always liked it. I mean, I was always scared because before I ever thought about going to college, when I was probably about 13, 14, 15, I remember thinking, I'll probably, no, this is when I was even younger. I had to be like 9 or 10. This is my mindset back then, is I remember thinking, I'll probably end up getting a job down here, finding someone and marrying him down here, and then just never leaving here. And I was okay with that. That's honestly what I thought at the time. I was just like, that's probably my life. Because it looked pretty normal for just seeing everybody else. And I never thought I'd go to college. I never ever thought I'd go there. So when I actually got there, it was freaky as hell. And the only reason why I got through it easy is because Snow was there ahead of me. And when I first got there, I was like, oh, Christ, this is scary. And then he was just like, well, let me show you where all your classes are going to be. So the day before school started, we went to the college because we both lived in residence. So it was like a 5-minute walk. Mm-hmm. And we both went in there and he just showed me, here's this room, here's this room, here's this. Like he showed me all the rooms and the numbers and everything. Be either here, be either there. And I was like, oh, okay. So if it wasn't for Snow, I'd probably be like totally screwed over at college because I wouldn't understand anything, like where anything goes.
Yeah.
So I had him there to like kind of like rely on. Mm-hmm. So that was probably the better thing I had because and that was at St. Clair too. So I was all the way in Windsor, which is what I wanted to try because I didn't want to go to Fanshawe because I was like, it's just right there. I wanted to be as not far as possible. Maybe it would have been better, but I wanted to be far.
Yeah.
And since Windsor's like hour and a half, 2-hour drive from here, I was like, that makes better sense to me. Gives me a sense of like living on my own and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Which I found out it's like before you get paid, you're gonna eat peanut butter and jam sandwiches, but not on bread, on freaking saltine crackers. I think even bread. I think I survived on it for like 2 days once. Like I just literally had to only eat that, and that was all I had. Especially when I was living by myself. Yeah. And Snow went back, and I still had 2.5 months I think left. Wait, what was it? May, June, July. I had 3 months of school still by myself, and they put me with a Russian guy. He was cool as hell. Ivan, his name was. And there was days we didn't cook anything, so we were bland. And I remember just being like, what am I going to eat? And I ran out of rice. I had no more eggs. And I was like, because that was my staples, eggs and rice. But I was like, that's all I got. So I would just like peanut butter, like make doubles, and like eat that. That was my entire dinner for one night, was just like 8 of those things. And I'd be like, that's all I got. Starve. Well, it was all right though. Like, got through it. But
that was 2 years?
It was a 2-year course shoved in 11 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was the workload like crazy.
Sounds like it.
but it wasn't too bad. Like some of the teachers are great, and they said, "Here's all the assignments I want you to do for the semester." I did them all one weekend. I never had to worry about them again. So like everything was done. I'd be like, someone would be like, "Oh, the assignment for seasonings is coming up," and I'd be like, "Mm-hmm." And they would struggle the whole weekend, and I would just go and print mine out the day before and just like, actually no, I printed them all out and I put them on the wall.
Yeah.
So then I'd be like, "Oh, this one's due," and I take it off the wall, put the tag back in, and just go to class. Here's my paper. It was easy for me, but I don't know.
Holy.
Did you ever see those people that were struggled all the time?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I'm in the middle because I do get to that point where I need the pressure to get it done.
yep.
But I'm not the one who would like the extension. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Those people.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not. Like, I would take it if I really needed it or if I was doing, like, not as good as I thought on an assignment, but usually no. I usually made the deadlines. But, yeah, I was that person. I have written whole papers in one night. The night before.
Was it like, usually I always noticed it was always double spaced.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my first year, it was the next year. The second, when I did culinary, they introduced that program that showed plagiarism. So if you just took an entire article and then copy and paste, you have to run it through a program.
Yeah.
And that program will like give you green, yellow, and red. And I remember the red was obvious, like you just stole this. Yellow was like change something. Green was, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I would do that, but I would write it in my own words. If that makes sense. I mean, that's what you're obviously doing anyways, right?
Yeah.
When you're looking at an article. I don't remember really copying. I think I did that once to see how it worked, and it was like everything was red, and I was like, ooh, well, I'm not dumb. So I just like wrote the whole thing out and got green most of the time. But that was a weird program, but it makes sense though.
Yeah. It's funny because the last couple of years of university, I never even used that thing.
No?
I just chanced it every time. But I wasn't that type anyway to like cut
just
and paste.
yeah, just throw it on. But here you go.
Yeah. So if I did use something, I always made sure to quote it.
Yeah, that's what they wanted too, right? Because I remember doing those papers too. Like I didn't do this for it, but there was a humanitarian credit.
Right.
You know how you have to pick. What the heck do they call that? You know when like.
Like an elective.
Yeah, that's what they call elective. Sorry. Anyways, in the elective, I did one called the humanitarian because I was like, I don't want to do this one I'm in, so I need to change it. And this was on general arts and science, and the teacher was like, or the guy who ran the whole general arts and science section was like, well, we can change it to. There's like, I think 3 openings. There's 3 openings to 3 different programs. And I know 2, and I know the other 2 weren't that great. And the humanitarian one, I was just like, I guess, because he was like, and this one, you're going to build houses, you're going to go out and work with people. And I was like, for an elective? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, whatever, let's just do that then. And when I got there, it was an architect program. Oh, and the teacher was like, I've been told some of you are coming from electives and you're thinking you have to build houses. I don't know where they're coming from, but that's not what you do here. And he explained the whole architect. And I was like, oh, okay. And after that class, I realized I could never become an architect. It's way, no offense to any architects, but it's way too boring for me. I fell asleep 4 times in one class.
Really?
And it was horrible because usually I'm at the very end, kind of like just in case. And there was nowhere to sit, so I had to like sit straight. And he was right in front of me talking while I was at the very back. But there was still no one in front of me to guard me in case it happened. So I remember being like, I remember I swear one time I had to be like this and then wake up because he was looking at me. And then when I woke up, he was like, turned his head, and I was like, what the heck, like freaking out. So
yeah.
I don't know. I just, yeah.
It's not your thing. Eh?
No. Like I said, I understand people need to have buildings and people build them, but yeah, elective is not really the thing I'd want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't know what it's like. So, but I imagine it involves math too.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from that. Anything that had to do with math, I didn't really want to be part of it.
Yeah. I know. I mean, if I really put my mind to it, I know I could do it, but if I don't have to, why?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Like,
know?
I don't know. Like I said, was there any electives though that you did?
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a while, but in college, that same program,
Yeah.
General Arts and Science, I did it at Fanshawe.
Yeah.
Did you do yours in
St. Clair? Yeah.
Okay. I don't even remember what the electives were. I just remember taking a First Nations Studies course there. They didn't even have the program yet that they have now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just a course or two or something like that. But yeah, I did that. I took a couple psychology courses. I think that's what got me interested because I really enjoyed it there. I know. It's kind of required to do writing courses each semester. I did some sort of art course, philosophy of art. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the guy would just show you pieces of art or like at least different ones, and then you could pick one and like kind of just basically write your own philosophy on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he didn't like limit it to just paintings or drawings or anything. Like you could even pick musical pieces or whatever. Anything creative. But yeah, like of course it had to be under his standards though.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you couldn't just like go crazy.
Yeah, like if I knew more back then that I do now, like I would have probably picked a indigenous artist or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If I could have, but I don't know. I mean, now they have their own like indigenous art programs, which is run by, I don't know about Fanshawe, but I know at Western, like they have their own indigenous professors that run those. Right?
Yep.
So that's good, but there's still like a mix there with like some non-native and native, right? And not everyone, I don't know, agrees with it, I guess, to have non-natives teaching.
Like native courses?
Yeah. People are different. Like some are fine with it and understanding, and others are just like, well, why are they teaching it? Like, how do they know? And you know what I mean? And then there's some people who are kind of on the fence. Like I can see both sides. So like I don't know which one's the answer. You know, I think that's me.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I think I don't mind if a non-native teaches native studies as long as they understand the culture, but not understand it, but I also mean like a deeper understanding to it as well.
And respecting.
Yeah, like even like if they talk about certain even aspects of going deep into like longhouse or even ceremonies and stuff, as long as they understand it and respect it. It's not, this is a paycheck. Because, you get those teachers who clearly have done it for all these years, but they don't want to do it, but they don't want to give up the paycheck that comes with it. So they're just kind of sloppy with the class. I don't think I can honestly say I had a teacher like that, but I've heard of teachers when I went to St. Clair that were sloppy. Like they just honestly didn't, you can kind of tell they didn't care. Like I did the history of rock and roll, or pop culture and rock and roll, I think it was called. No, sorry. Two different things. History of pop culture in Canada, and then the other one was like the history of rock and roll or something. Politics and rock and roll. Yeah. Both were great classes, but the teacher in the history of rock and roll was in there. You can tell this is like his 10th or 12th year, and maybe he's a little tired, but like he's not a crappy teacher, but you can just tell there's days he's just like, yeah, and here's this slide, and here's what you guys need to do on this. Like he's like really just kind of like, yeah, okay, or whatever, like. Yeah. And because we had an assignment where you have to take one song that's political and it had a message. So, and he said nothing from Vietnam. So you can't pick a single song that had to do something with Vietnam. I think he gave the range around 1960 to 1975 or something. You can't pick anything in those years. And I'm guessing everybody picked songs from around that time. There has to be one song he does not want to hear anymore. So, because I picked Public Enemy, Fight the Power. Mm-hmm. And then when you pick it, just give a little brief history of the group or artist. You know, what was the point? What was the main theme of the song? What were they trying to say? What was it about? You know, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's generally what he asked for. So it was interesting though to see other people's picks because there's songs I never heard of before until then.
Yeah.
But it was good. Like the class was good, but just the teacher though, like you can clearly tell he was like, okay, who's next? Get up there. He was real just kind of like, oh man, I've been doing this for years, so. Yeah.
Kind of like that teacher from Scary Movie.
Just real like.
Anybody else?
Anybody else? Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's general the idea. But other than that, it was good.
That's good. Yeah, I don't really remember what else I took. Not in Fanshawe anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Western was good. So your first year there, it's kind of just general. Like you're just kind of more getting your necessities. Like you need science, you need arts and humanities, you need social science and couple other things I can't think of right now. Oh, like an English or some sort of thing like that. Mm-hmm. And something else. I don't know, but I know my first year, like I took Intro to First Nation Studies.
Yep.
Intro to Psychology. Astronomy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That was my science credit. And women's studies.
How was that?
It was interesting for sure.
Was it taught by a woman?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It was weird because it was a full year course, like all 8 months, but 4 months was someone else, and then 4 months was like another.
Oh, like it was changed? Somebody else?
And same with psychology, same course, but
somebody different.
I think what happened was like she got sick though, so someone just stepped in for her.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know why the women's studies one changed. Like it was never told why. Just
randomly somebody showed up. It's almost like the role of, and it says your teacher's name is now played by.
Yeah.
It's like a new person shows up and you just accept it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have no choice, right?
All right, she's like a Pokemon. She just evolved.
Yeah.
Over the winter break, got enough experience, so.
But yeah, it was good though. It gave me a lot to think about, and like your first, like whatever you take, like all the intros, they're real general. Like they try to cover every aspect of that whole thing. But as you go on in the years, like whatever one you choose to focus on, it just gets deeper and more specific.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of just, it like focuses down more and more, like the light and easy, then it gets more deeper into something, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily, well, I don't know. Everyone would beg to differ. But for me, I felt like it got easier and like better and more interesting as the years went on.
Okay.
But yeah, the assignments did get heavier.
Yeah.
And like bigger, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you major in then?
I actually got a 4-year honors specialization in First Nation Studies. So it's just a fancy way of saying like, it's not just a major, it's like that was your main focus of study.
Yep.
The whole 4 years.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, because you can either do double major, which I could have done that, and like psych if I wanted, or like whatever, doesn't really matter. Yeah, you could do double major or just one and a minor, or honors special, like whatever.
Huh.
And each one has different requirements, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just decided to just do the full thing, just, I don't know, just cause.
Just kind of get it done.
Yeah. And as just a side note, if you do 4 year, your pay grade automatically goes up instead of if you did a 3 year.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, your pay scale.
So if you took a 4-year in something and what you're aiming for, if they see that it's 4 years, you automatically...
Yeah, like you're paid...
You're more qualified to be paid more, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the best way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool to know.
Because originally I was just going to do 3 years,
Yeah.
but then everyone talked me into a 4.
Get more money.
And just the way things went too, like either way I would have still had to go back anyway, even just for the couple credits I needed. So I was like, whatever, I'll just go back and do the whole 4. And I was like, and I'll get paid more.
Never hurts.
Yeah. I don't really know if I do, but it seems like it. Yeah. So I think it was a good choice.
Now, does that... So that what you've done then, the native studies, does that transfer over to what you're doing now then? Like, because you're kind of like teaching language, right? Like you're kind of going into language and you're like teaching that and this. Like, is there stuff from that course that you're able to kind of transfer over?
Oh, heck yeah. Because if it weren't for those language classes at Western, or like through Western,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what I know now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I do have all those different, what are they called? Certificates from like, what were they called? Oneida Part 1 and Part 2 and Part 3 and whatever and so on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're included on my transcript and everything. But just as a side note, like, the Language Center recognizes Part 1 and Part 2.
Huh.
Yeah, just creative differences there. I don't want to go into that because it's not really, you know.
Yeah, I know. Want to be professional, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So like, yeah, what you've took then. So like in the native studies, it's not just because when someone tells me native studies, I automatically think like, okay, like where we lived, what we ate, like like what we wore, you know, what we were doing around times. But so native studies means it just kind of goes into everything. Like, is it like a generalization of like everything that we've done, like kind of a history almost, or?
It depends what you take, because like mine was specific where you had to take certain courses to even get there. You know, depending how far you go, like you could just do the intro, you could just do the minor, you could do the major, or the one I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends how in depth you want to go.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right.
So like the intro was just basic, and it had nothing to do with what you're talking about, like where we lived and what we ate and all that. Like, go to the museum, they'll tell you that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
like, that's more of like a archaeological perspective, in my opinion.
Yep.
No, what they do is they try to pay attention more to the modern, like, indigenous people.
Okay.
And their issues and their problems and like things and issues that they face today.
Mm-hmm.
But they do always link it back to the past.
Yep.
So you can understand today. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, I don't know how to word it properly, but I know what you're saying.
I'll give you a good example. Like,
okay.
When an intro to First Nation studies now, instead of writing a big paper that I had to do when I was there, but now they do it so that you just create an exhibition piece at the museum, which I think is great. And so much better and fun. But like, see, just that difference right there, like not having to write all the time, and like if depending on the theme, like, because it's up to the professor, right?
Yeah.
But they always actually do not encourage you to do something based on residential schools. And I know, like, when you first think about it, you're like, what? Like, because we should be learning that, right? But it's because it's so heavy and it's so open-ended still, and like it's still like it's just really heavy and broad, and like there's so much that could be brought up, I guess. So like, I mean, they still bring up issues caused from it, but not like it specifically. And me personally, as you know, as Hungwe, even though I know about that and it is really messed up, right? Like, even my own grandmother was in there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of hearing it, to be honest. Like, I'm tired of hearing that, like, just residential schools did this and did that to our people, and like, I do encourage it. Like, I just want to get my point across, because I know some people might take offense to this.
No, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking more of the listeners, but like, I understand it, but not everyone else does. So I'm encouraging to the fact that everyone learns about it and knows about it and is aware of it, and also takes care of that in their own life. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to stop blaming others for where we're at.
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, but I always like to say, never forget where it is. Like, kind of what you're saying. Like, let's never forget what residential school's done, but we can't keep relying on to keep using it. But it's something I don't like to really say that way, because then some people might take it and use that against us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people who would be like, you know, trying to get over that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like,
no, like, I would never say it that way.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard people say that, and I'm like, holy, you know.
I mean, like, I guess just to kind of say, it's a tricky thing to like kind of talk about with people, because you never know how people are going to react to it. I mean, my only thing is, I would stop bringing it up or talking about it if it was finally put in Canadian history books. That's when, like, to me, there is an actual, like, you know, Canada finally owns to it and says, yes, we've done this. It's part of our history. We can't ignore it. But so far, Canada's ignoring it. That's why I feel like it's important for us to talk about it and bring it up. But yeah, you can't like dig into the ground. But it's important to bring it up just to like keep reminding Canada, because I think it should be in history books, because they, you know, they'll talk about us coming over an ice bridge. No proof to that.
Yeah,
but
I know.
But they won't put in the residential schools, which there's millions of proof to that. There's tons of people who've talked about it, people who've passed and everything. So I do agree that people do kind of jump to it, but it is something you just can't forget, I guess, because I mean, I kind of know if anyone's listening, they're mad. I'm sorry, but it's just like, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's just it's hard not to talk about it, because it's such a prominent problem in Canada, along with the missing and murdered women. There's a lot of things Canada has to kind of do, but they're not doing. They're failing us.
Yeah. And I just want to put into perspective, like, I'm not trying to upset anyone or say, like, oh, just get over it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just more like, it's my own personal feeling.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to get across, is like, I know what happened. I know what's been done, and I understand it, because, you know, all that stuff that happened, it completely explains my entire childhood.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've went through, all the decisions my family made, you know, like even things I've said and done, you know, back in the day, like it all makes sense, and I know that.
Yep.
And I'm very encouraging of it being in the books and all that, like being in the history books and Canada acknowledging it, and you know what I mean? I think it's just more, it's hard to, what's that word I'm looking for? It's hard to believe people who've always been spewing the same thing over and over and over to our people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like nothing ever really is done. And so I just kind of feel like I'm one of those people who just have to take it into their own hands to help my own.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, because like for example, like I wasn't, like, to be honest, I wasn't that thrilled when Justin Trudeau got into office.
Yeah, neither was I.
I wasn't thrilled, and I wasn't like, you know, even all these pictures and stuff with him and making all these promises.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, just another dude, you know.
Yeah.
But he's just, I don't know. I guess he's like a sugar-coated colonial. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, because like some people say he's doing a good job. I'm like, yeah, but if you're native, he's not doing a good job. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gonna have different views, but the majority of natives that I've heard talk, none of them like what he's done because he hasn't done anything to talk about.
Exactly.
Like
and
for us, like you want to talk about economy, you want to talk about whatever else in the government, you can. But when it comes to native stuff, it's nothing but more broken promises as usual. That's all it is from him. And so I don't understand why so many natives voted for him. That was the weird part, I thought. Was like, why are they voting for him? Because he's not going to do anything.
He's just a nice, pretty boy that, like, makes sugar-coated promises. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all I see him as. And I wasn't thrilled, and I still ain't. You know, I haven't seen anything. And I know he made this big announcement about, like, oh, we're going to help Indigenous languages. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll wait and see, you know. And interestingly, I think it was last month in October, I don't remember the exact date, but a representative from Heritage Canada.
Yeah.
I forget his name though, but him and a couple translators came there to actually have a meeting, like more administratively though, like I don't know, just come there to ask questions about, well, what do your people need and what do they want in this new legislation that they're making for Indigenous languages? Like, would you see a commission happening, like where the monies go through them and then, like, well, from the government to them, then to the community?
Yeah.
To do whatever they wish, right? And like, what do they want and all that out of it? Anyway, all it boiled down to was like, it was always the same thing. Like, well, how do we know, like, this is actually gonna happen? And you know what I mean? Like, I know our chief was really
over the moon.
Yeah. But he's kind of known for that. Sorry to say. Anyway, yeah, and like, it just boiled down to like, of course we need the money. Like, that's not even a question. Right?
Yeah, need funding, right?
Yeah, to make all these programs happen, to pay the teachers to, you know, do what they need to do, get everything that they need, and making sure they live too. Like, there's no money in language. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be a teacher, then like, be prepared to struggle too. You know what I mean? Like, And there's no real, like, I guess, certificate program or diploma program or even just magical program that says, hey, yeah, you're qualified and you're ready to be a language teacher. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're making our own way, borrowing a little bit from Western, but still sticking to our own roots.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how it's being done right now, but eventually, hopefully, like, there'll be our own program one day. Well, that's the plan. But anyway, back to what I was trying to say is, like, it came down to that we just want to get the money directly because we already have plans in place, and I'm sure it's no different in any other community that has a language.
Yeah.
I don't know, program or building or whoever, you know.
Yep.
Like, as long as it comes to Oneida, well, I'm speaking for this community, like, comes to Oneida, then disperse it appropriately, because there are other language programs here.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, you don't want to exclude them, because I think, like, whoever wants to teach it and, you know, go for it. We all need it, and, like, not one specific entity can help everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, so I think he got the message, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of wait and see kind of thing. But I was surprised to see that a representative actually came and talked to us, and then they had plans to, like, go to all these other different nations too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
across Canada, not just in this area.
Well, I hope there's more than just, like, one dude, because, like, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I know.
One guy going to different places.
No, I heard there's a team, but
maybe hopefully, like, there's one on some end, one on the other, and they're gonna meet in the middle.
Hopefully. I don't really know what was going on there, but yeah, so I guess they're trying to make efforts to kind of right things, but I hope they understand that they can't always write the legislation. They can't always make the rules, and they can't always, like, decide what's best for us. You know what I mean? Like, sure, they're coming to us and asking questions now, but, well, like, are you actually going to listen?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Like, I'm always weirded out when they get somebody to be Indian Affairs in the government, and it's usually a Lazaloon. Like, I'm always like, I'm always just like, okay, that makes no sense. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird. Like I don't know. Like, I mean, I just can't fathom, like, how does that, like, work?
And how would he understand, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I just don't get it. Like, why would you put somebody there? Like, I understand there are not as many natives. I mean, there are starting to become more natives that are going into, like, government positions and stuff, which is good. But, you know, we still need to, like, get people to actually be in there, because they could be NDP, they could be conservatives or liberals or green or anything, like any one of the parties. It could be any one of the parties, but, like, if the right party's not in, you're not going to have a lot of natives there.
And that's the thing too, is, like, why do you have to join one of those specific parties?
Like, to be in there?
Like, if you're, like, as an Indigenous person, why do you have to pick from their parties?
Oh, you mean, like, if you're going to go into the politics and everything?
Yeah, like, I know, like, obviously it's a requirement. I'm not dumb. I just mean, like, trying to break down the system here. You know, like, why do you have all these different parties, and, like, why do I have to pick one and, like, just fight purely for that?
Well, you could. It's almost like, I guess you could join and get your own agenda, but you can't. But then, like, the party's gonna vote you out, right? Because if you're not on board with NDP completely, like, you know, anybody who's, let's just say, NDP, they're all gonna have different mindsets. Like, I'm still weirded out to this day that Thomas Mulcair was kicked out from being leader. Like, they booted him out, and he was the best choice they had. So now the new guy they have, Jigme, I don't agree with it because if I always thought it was weird that you can't be young and be in politics because I was like that's always weird to me. But then Justin Trudeau just proved it because
Yeah.
you have all these greasy old men like in your ear telling you what to do, and not to mention he's bought by the oil companies, like the electric companies, like everything. Big businesses bought his campaign, so they're controlling him. He's not making his own decisions, and he's too young. Now I understand why you can't be that young, and Jigme is just going to be I don't want to offend anybody because I don't know his nationality specifically,
Yeah.
but he is going to be just, he's going to be the NDP version of Justin Trudeau. There's going to be no difference. So, like, if the NDP gets, power in the next federal election, there's going to be no change except a few things, but it's not going to be anything major because, he's just not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Conservatives are trying to do the same thing. They want their own Justin Trudeau because they're weird to think, well, young is in right now. So that's what's going to win us the next, the election.
Yeah.
And I think we all had enough of Robot Harper, so.
Yeah. I mean, with him, someone like him, like, yeah, obviously, like, who's going to like someone like that? But at the same time, it's like, at least he was upfront about it. You know what I mean? Like, at least he was upfront about being shitty. And racist and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was, I don't know. He's the kind of guy that would be like, you better step off. But then there's like 6 guys in front of him, and he's in the very back behind the door, ready to close it if you come at him.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of guy Harper was. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They need to change his oil more because.
No comment, man.
But I mean, like, but I guess that's something I didn't know that happened with Heritage Canada, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Like-
Well, I guess that's why I brought that up, is because, like, I don't want to give the wrong impression by what I said.
Yeah, I know.
It's just, they're trying. You
Yeah.
know, they're trying, but they need to understand, like, there's still gonna be skepticism
Mm-hmm.
and, like, a little bit of well, maybe not just a little bit, but, like, backlash and, like, non-believers and people who are pushy, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of antagonistic towards them.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I just hope they realize, like, they're gonna have to deal with that.
There's gonna be a lot of that.
It's not gonna be all peaceful and sage everywhere you go, you know. It's not how it is.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. It sounds funny though.
Well, like, that's what the peaceful modern day native looks like now, right? It's just not in the cards.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Just it's funny though, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like the whole language part. Would you guys try different angles on doing that, like teaching the language? Because I've heard of some people doing it through Skype.
Yeah.
Like I heard a Lenape class was doing it through Skype. Like the guy actually would just have 10 people, and they would all just be on the computer. Like that's how he would teach classes. Is he would actually just go through the Skype. Don't know why I made that noise, but he would just do that through the computer. So I was always like, well, that's an interesting way of doing it, because it's almost like, I mean, I don't know. This is just me talking. I don't want to give anybody ideas. But if you were to do classes and you were done and you came back home and did another class for an hour, but you just sat on your computer and were just like, okay, like, where's my, let's just say 5 o'clock class on a Wednesday. And they're like, oh, okay. Then like all these people show up, and then like, okay, here's what I'm going to teach you guys today. You know what I mean? Like that's just an idea. Like, I don't want to try and throw that at you. Like, you should do that. I'm just saying, like, if you guys were to start trying different methods.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is, like, I don't know why this, like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know what end it was at, like where it didn't catch everyone's response.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm not going to say like, oh, it's their fault or their fault. I'm not going to say that. But there was a survey that was put out there at Admin Day, but not just there. Like, there was even a link online. And to my knowledge, I thought it was sent out, like, publicly, so people could go on there and take it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, like, the online pieces, like, not many people even did them. And I understand, like, there's the problem of not having internet and, like, not having access to a computer, whatever, you know. But, like, even at Admin Day, you know, like, not everyone goes there, and there just needs to be other ways. Like, I personally thought of, like, why didn't you just put one in everyone's mailbox, and it's up to them to, like, maybe they could go online at home to fill it out, or fill it out at home and bring it, drop it off, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But that part was never done. But anyway, the whole point was, like, it asked all these questions. What do people want? What time is best for them? And, like, how is the best way, or what is the best way that you learn? You know, like, it had, like, multiple answers.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the highest, well, like, for times of day was actually weekday mornings. So, like, from 9 to 12, or just, like, within that time frame.
That was the highest?
Yeah, like, out of everyone who took the
surveys,
because I was one of the ones who went through them and helped tally them up. But yeah, that was the most checked off. Like, that was the highest percentage, was weekday mornings, somewhere between 9 and 12. But, well, the reason why I think that's weird is just because they've had classes between that time. Maybe, like, 2 people would show up. Yeah, and then sometimes it'd even just be 1.
Really?
Yeah. And, like, and even the lunchtime, just to see, because some people have more free time, right?
Yep.
Same thing. Like 12 till 1. So I don't know what the issue is. Like, I don't know if it's not put out there enough, or, like, people can't come, or they forget, or I really don't know. But it seems like daytime classes, and it's not just since I've been there, but like it's been that way there.
Yeah.
From what I hear. I don't know why that is.
Do you guys have evening classes though?
Yeah. We have evening classes, and these ones are actually continuing from our first run, because we learned basics there, and then we're just building on them in the second round. But we've missed a lot because of all the deaths lately. So we're just kind of like doing mostly refreshers and review.
Yep.
But adding, well, I think it's a little bit, but it might be kind of much for them, because they're struggling, but they're getting it.
Yep.
Slowly. So yeah, those seem to be a hit, and it seems like not just me, but like, it seems like we've found a specific group of people who would be willing to come every class.
Yep.
That we run it. And we have a Quizlet up now, like as a study tool. But yeah, like, nothing beats, I guess. Like, I guess the Skype thing could work, but you would definitely need lots of visual aids for that, because you're in a screen, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And it's not like real people. Like, I can't go over and be like not touch them that way, but, you know, like, put my hand on their shoulder and be like, unka nega ig, or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, like, I'm open to all that stuff. It's just that I still truly believe that nothing beats, like, hands-on.
Yeah, like, actually
in the
being in an actual
experience.
classroom with the teacher. Yeah.
And, like, not even just a classroom, like, out somewhere doing something. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is, learning hands-on with experiential.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
like
good though.
that's still my. I fully back that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but like I'm still open to those other ways. I think it just depends on how you're teaching. I think for those.
No, I know what you mean. When I was starting to do more cooking classes, I actually thought about doing a live online class
Mhm.
because obviously that's free.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna do it over Facebook, and then like if somebody wanted to share it, then they can share it and they could just go out wherever. But I was like, I never thought about it, but I was like, that's a lot of work because then like you gotta tell people at least a week or two in advance. Here's what you're gonna need, and here's like the idea of the recipe, and then I'm gonna go over. It's like all this extra stuff, and it's not like I need to get paid to like do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would do it. It's just like I'm just like oh like it's just so much to put into the actual effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like even when I took my time off, like doing these podcasts, I really wanted to do that film work we did, and like all that stuff I wanted to like because I bought this stuff but I never actually used it. So now I'm actually like using this stuff and going with it and everything. And this is what I really want trying to get into. But I still would like to do cooking classes. But like the whole online thing is like I've seen people actually do it, but it's just kind of strange.
It'd be kind of like a TV show almost.
Yeah, because then like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have your comments, right? Like if you have your
Yeah.
computer there, but I don't know, it'd just be kind of, it would suck too if like your computer cracked down or something, or
Yeah.
you had crappy streaming, so like it was like cutting in on everybody and everything. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong, but I guess it's just to do it right, just to see if it actually will happen and work out right. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That
You know what I think that would work best in? Well, I mean, it might be different for cooking, but like I was just thinking about the whole language thing.
Yep.
I think it'd be better instead of me being the focal point for an audience.
Mhm.
I think it would be better if people Skyped in on the class, the physical class.
Oh no, that'd be a great idea.
That would be better because they could still participate, but still they're watching and learning and hearing it still.
You should try to set that up, even as a test run.
Yeah.
The I know what is it? I seen the Language Center's Facebook page.
Yep.
And you guys should set it up, a webcam, just directly, never mind the students, but just directly to where you are, and if you're bored or wherever, and then just try that. Because then, like, I think it would work.
So like where it is focused on me? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah.
First? Okay.
Like,
so
like it's just on you because, like, you know, never mind the students, but like if it's just focused here, and if you're just teaching the class like you normally do, then I think people can get with it and kind of learn as they go. So.
But that's the thing too is, yeah, it makes sense. It's just because of the way we do it as well. Like say there's like 3 other people sitting here with us, right?
Yep.
And what we do is like we'll drill the phrase that we're using first, so that we can just say it. You know what I mean? Like just so we get the pronunciation down and we can say it.
Yep.
So we drill that together, then I say it and I make them say it, like it's still all together, and we do it like about 3-5 times, just depends. And then we pass it around, like I'll say it, then them, then you, then them. You know, and then we keep doing that until like it sounds a bit smoother. And then once we have that, then we'll actually start using the questions and answering. And then we just keep going through. So like it's not entirely focused on me all the time.
Okay.
It's like so everyone gets a chance, and it's definitely more oral. Like some people still like their pen and papers, but we try to discourage it. And like we have like the posters up.
Yep.
So if they need a quick reference, they can be like, oh, niyotohadi. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I noticed, like, there's one guy in our evening class, like, he needs to see it written. I don't know. Like,
Oh, like that's how he kind of learns, I guess.
yeah,
Like he always kind of neat to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't do it at all, like if you cover it or nothing, like.
No, like, he's really lost if we didn't have the posters up, or like, because he was really struggling with the family words.
Uh-huh.
He was learning his own, like when you say agnoha, lagetni, but like to say like sanoha and like yatni, sasot, yasot, like when you're talking about someone else's family,
Mm-hmm.
well, your family, he kept getting like tripped up. So what I did last time was I had like, coloring page of like the mother and father and all that. And to the ones who were still having trouble, I wrote them all down on one page
Mm-hmm.
under each correct person, right? And then I just said just pass it on if they want to write it down. So some of them did. Like things like that I will do, but I will not write down a whole phrase for them because that's what the posters are for.
Oh, okay.
Because people get so dependent on their books. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I am still like that. Well, I'm getting away from it now, but like, I was like that too. Like, where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll write this down and I'll remember, and then, but then I forget because it's tucked away in my book, and it's almost like psychologically, you're like, oh well, that's written down. Like, I have it, but it's not in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of got to flip that. So that's what we're trying to do. And then by drilling it, it sticks better.
Yeah.
And that helps with your pronunciation. And yeah, like, and it's not like, oh, no English at all. Like, we try to refrain from it, but, well, like if they're absolutely like, what does that mean? Or is this word your grandma? Like, then I'll just be like, huh? Or, you know what I mean? Or gesture towards something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of work to be a teacher. Like your kind of teacher. Because, like, I mean, depending how I work, those last classes I did, I worked with that Julia from the health center. Mm-hmm. And I had to just, what are we going to do this week? I'd be like, let's try chicken. Here's recipes. Here's a grocery list. I'd show up. Everything's there. Let's get started. Now I'm trying to do more cooking classes, but I have to go through somebody else. And if I do, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to buy all the groceries and everything. So I'm like,
yeah. So it's more work for you.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I mean, like I said, it's just different how it is. Because I understand yours is very, like yours is very different, I guess, because you're working with people and like the paper and like sometimes you have to write everything down. There's so much stuff you have to know. Mine is just like show up, watch this, like you do what do what you just watched, kind of a thing with me. Yeah. So I guess it's just different. That's all. So I was just thinking about with your style, what you're telling me, which I get that too, and I'm glad to hear that's what it's like, that you actually work with somebody. Instead of just being like, this is how you're going to learn. And it's one way.
Yeah, because I've seen people do that. And I know people who still do that today.
Because like...
No names.
Because I had to when I worked with those kids, I had to do the same thing. Some of them weren't understanding when I demonstrated in cooking. Mm-hmm. Then I have to go over there and say like, they're kind of slow. And then I'm like, I can kind of tell there's something wrong. So I have to say what's wrong. And then they forgot how to cut the onion, so I show them how to do it again. And then I'd watch them as they do it. Okay, now they know. And like even when we made flour and we did meatballs, everything, they weren't getting it. Or they maybe I went too fast, or they just didn't listen. I don't know. But yeah. I ended up having to go over it with them. But I understand that everybody's different.
Yeah, see, like, you could tell me something and I'd be like, okay. But like, I would rather see it done. You know what I mean? Like, even just one little example, I wouldn't expect you to do the whole thing. Just like, oh, just show me, like, real quick. And then I'll be like, okay, and then it'd be no problem.
I think I'm the same, where I have to kind of see somebody do it or, something like that.
Watch,
Like,
yeah.
like I can't, if somebody just gave me a piece of paper that said, okay, I want you to do upside down peach cake. And they just gave me the piece of paper, I would be like, okay. And I would just do it, but how I think it is.
Yeah.
And we had to do that once in culinary. Our teachers gave us all 3 different recipes. I think there's 12 of us. So was it 4, 8, 12? So yeah, 4 of us got 1, 4 of us, and he randomly picked us. And I did mine. It was like a chicken and potatoes and an onion. I forgot the name of it, but it's a French dish and it's weird. Yeah. But when I did it, it had beets too, because I don't know how or why, but I cooked my potatoes in my beet juice. Oh, so they came out purple.
Yeah.
And even my teacher, when everybody's plates went down, he was looking at everybody's and he was like, "Whose is that?" And I was like, "That's mine." And he was like, "I can already tell your potatoes are undercooked. And why are they purple?" And I was like, "I don't know. I was going by the paper." And and I guess he was trying to show us that nobody's looked at the same. Yeah. Everybody's that did the chicken, none of them looked like mine. And I didn't look like any of theirs. And it was just, nobody's looked at the same. So I was like, so it's just kind of like, you give everybody one piece of paper. Like if we both right now had to do, I don't know, like ricotta pancakes. Yeah. I can't honestly say that we both had the same thing.
Yeah, or that shrimp dish I just talked about.
Yeah, like if you said let's both make whatever you just did, and you gave me everything, and I looked at it, I would do how I think. Yeah. And like I know we're both like, I'm a professional chef as to like a home chef. Mm-hmm. I know that's like different, but still like it would be completely different. Even at work, when I work with my coworker Josh, we both do chicken parmesan. Mm-hmm. It's never the same. Like they're almost farther than you want to think, because he'll make it where it's already done with the melted chicken and the sauce, everything. Yeah. I will leave it completely till I go out to serve it, and when I go to serve it, then I'll put the chicken, then I'll put the sauce, then I'll put the cheese, then I serve it.
Oh, okay.
Like he wants
melted. Making me hungry.
He wants melted cheese. I just want to do it differently. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to ask too. Before we remember we talked about that, about if you're still doing singing lessons. Oh
yeah, I am.
Because I remember you saying your teacher was pregnant. Was that what it was? Mm-hmm. And she was like, "I'm gonna be taking time off. You can still learn from a husband." And you're like, "Nope." And you're like, and you kind of left. And I was like, and I was all singing. I was like, "Huh." And then like I think not too long ago when we were doing all this stuff, I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, I wonder if like you went back. So like, because that was July last year.
Yeah, because that's when she was due.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, did you go back then?
Yeah. I went back during my last year of university, which was last year. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, that don't make sense. In the winter, that's what it was. Because she took the whole, like, September, October, November, December, like, all that off. Yep. But she started back up again in January. Oh, okay. Because she does it by semester. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's when I started back up again. So we did that. And then I thought about doing the summer, but I didn't end up doing it. No? No. But I started back up again in September. And I got a shorter package this year, though. Oh, okay. I'm poor. And, yeah, but I'm going to renew it again in January. Yeah, and my first recital was in April. Yeah? Yeah. I think I told Ashley about it. Yeah. Todd came and watched it. And I didn't know whether to feel happy or offended, but he was like, you know what? He's like, you actually sounded really good, like better than I thought. And I'm like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm like, thanks, but what?
It almost sounds like he came in with going, all right, let's get this over with. Like, oh, it's good. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what he meant by that. I'm sure he meant it in a good way. But,
yeah.
But just me being like, what?
Now, here's something I thought of, because I remember hearing this before.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, did your teacher say, do you want to sound like somebody? Or do you want to go into a style? Or were you just like, let's just start learning and we'll see what happens?
She didn't ask me that specifically. She just asked like what kind of songs I wanted to learn. What did I like to listen to? Am I doing this for a reason? Like, do I sing karaoke? Am I in a band? Or like, do I sing at church? Or, you know what I mean? Like anything, right?
Yeah.
Like she's just going through everything, right? And I was like, no, actually, I was like, it's just something I've always wanted to do, but now I feel ready to actually just go for it.
Yeah, pursue it and just take off.
Yeah, and I just said like it feels good, but I feel like I definitely need lessons, you know. So that's just kind of what we did, and I would just bring in songs that I really liked and that I wanted to work on.
Now, is there a style you would say that you're kind of lean towards?
Not really, just because the different songs I bring in, they range like literally from Disney to Alicia Keys to like Janis Joplin. See what I mean? That's very different.
Yeah, it just kind of goes everywhere, just picking what you want.
Yeah.
I think I kind of get it though, where it's almost like she would fit it to your voice though.
Yeah, like that's what she said is like
don't try to sound like Janis Joplin, sound like you just singing her song.
Yeah, and she also says, well, this is what she likes to bring up.
Yeah.
She's like, I love Janis and like I think she's great and everything. She's like, but she damaged her chords singing that way. She's like, so I'm gonna teach you how to sing her notes and everything, but in a healthy way. And she's like, the only time I would say like if you want to squeeze in that little Janis-y type vibe is if you're actually doing a show or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Kind of please the crowd, give them a...
Yeah, and probably not all of them. You know what I mean? Just certain spots maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that way you don't damage your chords. So just things like that.
So is it like... where was I going with this? Was it just one rehearsal then? Like that's all you did so far? Because the rehearsal is like...
recital?
Yeah, recital, sorry. Is it like just one time? Like you just did one so far, like... In front of like random people too?
Yeah, like, because she teaches obviously more than just me.
Yeah.
Just whoever wants to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We all choose our song so that we're not singing the same thing. And you know what I mean? And she's the one who comes up with the poster. She's the one who comes up with the date and like where we're at and like...
Oh, she organizes everything?
Yeah.
So, like just show up?
Even the song.
Oh, like who's doing what?
Yeah, like where.
Okay.
Like in what spot or whatever, because she has like themes for each part.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so she does all that. Well, her and her husband, right?
Yeah.
So they do that together, but we just tell them like as soon as we can what song we want to sing, and we work on those in every lesson that we have until the date. And well, I don't just do that though. Like sometimes I'll be like, can we just do some like Chicago or something?
Oh, like the musical?
No, the band.
Oh, okay, the band. Sorry, I get them both mixed up.
That's okay. But yeah.
I mean, I love the band too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, listen to those songs too much. I mean, I sing, but it's usually in the car, at home, or...
In the shower?
No, the other one's at work. I will sing.
Okay.
I will sing at work with Danielle. You know, Doc Stater.
Yeah.
Me and her sing a lot of songs together.
Right on.
It's mostly just Michael Bublé though. That's like that's the songs we sing together.
Christmas one's coming up.
I know. That's the songs we usually sing all the time. Is us two. We'll sing that all the time. Or
yeah.
It's weird because there's people I feel comfortable enough with singing with, and there's other people I don't.
I'm the same way.
Like at work, I won't sing if who is it? The two male coworkers, Josh and Connor. I won't sing if they're around. I'll do it for jokingly, but I won't take it seriously. But like, there's certain people I'll just like bust out like, I don't care who knows this. I'm proud to say it. I was at work singing "Raining Men" one time, and I just thought it was fun. Like, I just really like that song. I just think it's a really cool song. So like, I'll just sing that now and then for fun. But like, it's mostly just Michael Bublé at work. Oh, yeah. Unless I think of a song myself to sing, I'll just sing it. But I'm like, yeah, by no means I'm not like anything great myself, because most times I'm just singing either that or Broadway tunes. So, but now I don't know if. Can I ask what you sang at least?
Oh, at the recital?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of more formal, so we're not really allowed to sing like just any old pop song off the radio.
Oh, you couldn't do like Kiss's Love Gun or nothing?
No. And the piece I chose was from a movie, because we're allowed to do movie scores.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's from Set It Off. It's by Laurie Perry, and it's called Up Against the Wind. Did you ever watch that movie?
What's it called?
Set It Off.
No, I think this is the first time I've ever heard of it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll show you the case after.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's so sad. But yeah, like, I love that song, and like, I would play it on YouTube. It's not even on YouTube anymore, but
Jeez.
It used to be, and I would just like, I really wanted to learn the words, so that's what I did. And then, I don't know, I just like her, just everything about it. Like, the way it sounds, the way it feels, like the way she sings it. And I know, like, we're not supposed to sound just like them.
Yeah.
But I learned how to sound like me, but still capturing the emotion, I guess, in it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I would sing it a lot. Yeah, and like, I remember one time I just started crying. I'm like, okay, I have to redo it. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed the recital though, because everyone's real nice and like laid back, and I was scared, like, I don't know, I felt like backing out, but I already knew I was gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't feel as bad because we do rehearsal like earlier in the day before we actually do the show.
Yeah.
So it was nice, not nice, but like, it was comforting, I guess, to see like other people were nervous.
Oh yeah,
and like people even messed up during rehearsal.
Yep.
So thank God.
Not gonna be the only one.
Yeah. And like, there's people in there who have been doing the recitals for like 4 years, I think they said. And
wow.
They said they still felt nervous.
I can see that for sure though. Like, just to kind of somehow put it in the same idea, I guess, is practices were always easy in lacrosse, but whenever a game came up, I was always like so nervous to play a game.
Like,
yeah, like always real like real like kind of freaking out. I don't know why. I was always just like real nervous every time I'd like put everything on, and then when I go out there, I never ever felt calm ever in a game.
Really?
It wasn't until halfway through, because we do like 3 periods. I'm pretty sure it was 3. The second one, after near halfway through that, I'd always finally chill out. In the third one, I'd probably play my best, but I was always real like, this is gonna suck, and I go out there. And it just never, it'd be fine, but yeah. So I get what you're saying, that like there's a bit of nervousness, I guess.
I think what it is too is like, it's always going to be different people that you're singing for.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, because you have an audience when you sing, right? That's kind of the whole point. And I like the way my teacher described it, because like, obviously it's not your song. Well, like, in my case, it's not my song, right? But these people write these beautiful pieces that you learn, and you just try to convey their message through the song to the audience. And I was like, oh, that helps, because like, even though it's me doing it, it's not. It's that, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, like, and then I just feel like more encouraged, I guess, to, you know, do it and practice and, yeah, just do my best to get it right. But that's not my focus, you know. It's not like, oh, I gotta get this right. Like,
Yeah.
not that kind of pressure. It's just like, well, it's always better to improvise if you slip rather than, you know, just be like, oh, no, let me start all over. You always gotta
Just
like,
kind of keep going.
yeah, like, say even if you like got this stage fright and you're like totally forgot your words, it's better to at least hum it, or like, or even the pianist, like, he'll give you cues too to help you.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
like, or they're sitting right there and they're like trying to voice the, not voice, but like mouth the words.
Oh yeah, so if you get kind of like look at them, they're kind of like saying the words, so you can kind of.
Yeah, and then he's, well, because obviously he's experienced.
Yeah.
The pianist, like, he can just replay the thing over, like,
Oh, so
without
like-
it sounding.
Yeah, it's not like when he starts
Yeah.
over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that helps then. Yeah. So you like, even if you were
Yeah.
to slip up, they're still there to catch you.
Because it did happen during my like, not the rehearsal, but the actually, yeah, it did happen during rehearsal too, but it happened during the actual show.
Yeah.
But it just happened to be at a part where there's a pause anyway in the song, but I couldn't figure out when I had to start again. And
Okay,
then
yeah.
I noticed I missed it, and I was like, shit, and I was thinking in my head, right? But then he like just kept playing through, and then
Kind of
he
did.
cued me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And
He
then,
wasn't looking at you like, you're fucked.
yeah.
I have to keep going. I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Huh. That's pretty good though, like, because it sounds
But
like
it's still nerve-wracking.
Oh, I imagine like, I don't know if I could ever do that. I mean, I guess it can, but it just has to be worked in, because it just has to be so much, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I never liked doing classes before, and then I just got used to it. Like, really got used to it. Like, because I like did the first class ever in down in Moraviantown, and I knew it. I sucked. Like, halfway through the cooking class. It's horrible when you know you suck halfway, then at the very end. Because then the rest of the class, you're just like, all right, do this, do that,
Yeah.
cut this, cut that. And you don't even care, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ugh, it was one of those, I'll get it right as I go. And halfway
Yeah.
through, then like I said, when I got to the middle, I was just like, I suck. Then it's just like the rest of the class, I knew I was bad.
I
So-
admit sometimes I get like that when I smoke dance.
Mhm.
Like, I'll start off strong, and if I notice, like, I don't know if anyone else notices, but like, I do. If I like, I don't know, just something as simple as like, I missed the step I wanted to take,
Yeah.
or like, I wasn't really listening to the song, so I missed whatever the spot I was supposed to do this or whatever. Then I feel like, oh no, like I messed it up, and like, and then it just feels like when you try to pick it back up again, it doesn't feel the same.
Mhm.
So you're kind of just doing it, like just going along with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never liked that when like your adrenaline kind of just cuts out. Like even
Yeah.
like say even at the gym when I'm working out, like I hate when like if I'm doing a set of 5 on deadlifts and I go heavier and heavier and heavier, if something kills me in the fourth, like this is gonna sound weird, but from a text or like something comes into my head, I don't know why, but it starts killing me, I cannot pick up like even 100 pounds. Like I would be so just like I can't do it. Like I would just be so
Yeah.
like weak, and it's such a mind F, because like I just can't. It's just such a weird thing, like how much your mind, you rely on it to get you through, even lifting like the heaviest weight. Like
Yeah.
I've done 500 pounds, but like that was one time, and even then I swear my back was like just gonna like like just blow out of my, like my
Yeah.
spine was gonna fly out of my back, but I was like, I don't know, but that was just out of pure adrenaline. But then there's times I was like, I can't even lift nothing, or
Yeah.
I just go on the treadmill, just walking real sad. And then you leave and you're like, this sucks. So, but I know what you mean. But oh, that's what I was gonna ask. So would there be future videos of you singing or no? Or maybe you're not ready for that yet.
It's crossed my mind. Yeah, because believe it or not, and I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I see your brother actually like putting his musical pieces up.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't get to see all of them, but like the ones I do see, they're inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy, like he's actually gotten out of his comfort zone.
Yep.
To not just do that, but actually put it out there.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, oh, maybe I should try that.
Yeah, I mean, I only let people know, like, what's the worst that can happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't, like, well, not on my friends list anyway, but, like, I don't really see anyone else doing that. I guess other than this one woman from Chippewa.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's Ashley's cousin.
Oh, Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think she
Yeah.
showed me one of her, but I swear it wasn't even the whole song. Like I thought she was doing that Drake song.
I don't know about that, but like I noticed like she'll play a little tune on the guitar and like sing along with it.
Uh-huh.
So like probably those are the only two that I see doing things like that. Because I don't know if anyone else like, is into music or singing or whatever.
I guarantee there people are, but maybe they're just not
as open about it.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people. Well, I mean, I don't have to say that. Everybody sings.
That's
true. Just nobody does it publicly, right? Or nobody admits to telling
or
people.
Or playing an instrument.
Yeah.
I remember talking with someone and they were saying like, oh yeah, I haven't played my guitar in a while, but you know, and it was surprising because I didn't even know that they even had one.
Yeah.
Let alone play one.
No, I know what you mean. Like I just, like there's times I've actually, like I play the piano. I don't play it well, but I play enough to like just play it because it is something I've always wanted to do ever since I don't even know how old I was, but I can remember being I'm gonna say 7, 6, and my old doctor, Elizabeth Smith. Mm-hmm. We went to her house once to get checkups, and she had a pool in her house, but it was like this crazy one floor. You can actually look down at the pool, and I remember on that floor there was a piano, and I remember playing with the piano a lot, and I just always liked it, but that was about it. And I remember started buying a piano before, and I bought one of those cheap ones from Best Buy.
Yeah.
Then I think I brought it to college. It wrecked, so I went to Toys R Us and bought a little tiny one. I don't know why I did that, but I played that for a little bit, and then finally I saved up enough money and bought one of those grand 88 key pianos.
Holy cow!
And there's those electric ones, and it's really nice. And I've just been always having that. But that's what I've always done. I've played with writing music and stuff, but I was never wanted to be like, look at this, because I never thought it was good sounding. I just played like, and I don't write songs with like it's more just scores, musical pieces, just
right.
Instrumental. That's it. But like, yeah, I know what you mean though. There are people who, like, I don't know. I've seen certain people, and I know they can play guitar and stuff, and I'm just like, all right, like, I wonder why they don't do it more. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing too, right? Is like, they don't have to. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
They don't have to post it, or you know what I mean? Like, I know. Well, my dad's like from an older generation.
Yep.
So he's still kind of new to all this technology and social media and all that.
Yeah.
And he's also someone who doesn't like his picture taken and stuff like that. So he's like, obviously he's not going to do something like that. But yeah, he's always practicing as much as he can. And he's only getting better. And he's actually getting extra tips from YouTube. And he's like, oh man, this YouTube's so great. Like, I wish I had this long time ago. So those lessons on there too have like only helped him improve.
Yeah.
And he was already good as it was.
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple times. And yeah, like those guys are great. So like it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it would be kind of funny to see your dad put up like videos.
Yeah.
Like, here's my new song. And he starts jamming hard, and you're just like, all right. So
I think if he ever did do something like that, it wouldn't be a video, it would just be the audio. Because he has talked about recording. Yeah, just...
Does he sing?
No, not like professionally. Like,
No,
he just
okay.
does it along with the song or whatever.
Yeah, so he'd just be like Tito Santana, just like
I guess,
instrumental.
yeah. Yeah.
Which I never knew he didn't sing. That Tito Santana. I always thought he actually sang, but he doesn't.
I didn't know that.
Like all those times, you know how we always had like other
Yeah.
people singing? I always thought, wow, when are you going to hear him sing? And then I was like, I was on iTunes once and I was like, oh, he's got an album. And I clicked it and I was like,
Wow.
wow, I said, he takes a long time to get into this song. Then I was like, it's almost over. It's like, when's it going to start singing? Like on YouTube even? I'm like, he didn't sing. And I was like, what? And I listened to like, I swear I listened to like 5 songs. They were all like 5 or 6 minutes each and just nothing. And I was like, huh. And I went on Wikipedia and he was like, yes, he's an instrumental artist. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why he always had other people singing, but he just always played. It's like, okay.
He's good though.
Yeah.
Like, he's always brought up, right?
Yeah.
And I know he's known for like his guitar skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that either. I thought he's...
That's what I thought too. Because I just remember that Matchbox 20 singer.
Yeah.
That song with him. I remember that song a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's why he's the Matchbox 20 lead singer. But yeah, him anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's what I was wondering because I remember you were singing, so that's why I was just wondering if there was a chance that you would start like doing videos.
I see. That was actually going to be my question to you. Like,
that?
why did you ask that?
Oh, I was just curious because I remember you
Yeah.
did that. So that's why I was just like, I wonder if she would ever like just put it out there.
Oh, I see.
Because
Yeah,
like,
it's... Go ahead.
oh, okay, well, I was just gonna say that because, like, even when I do fitness videos, like all those things, I never ever was like, I'm gonna get sponsors, I'm gonna get money or anything
Yeah.
like that. I always thought this is for people because I know a lot of our people are really unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only rising. The numbers of diabetics and people with cancer, it's rising. And they say, I think they said in like 2040 or 2050, it's going to be over. Like it's going to be. I think they said it could possibly be over 50 to 60% of all the natives in Canada could just be suffering from this stuff, and it's probably just poor nutrition. So
I believe it.
So I was always like, well, I just want to try and get stuff out. There's always healthier options.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing somebody recently say a lot of people take it that if it tastes weird or bad, it must be bad for them. And that's not true though. You know what I mean? Like if somebody
yeah.
if somebody's eating Brussels sprouts and they find it tastes bad, there are real people that think this must be bad. I know that sounds really dumb, but there's real people.
I know. Okay, I got 2 quick stories to tell you. Okay, first of all, I wanted to say I do understand because I can't stand avocados.
Yep.
Ew. Like it tastes like a clump of wet grass or something. Like I don't know, they're just blah. You know, but yeah, it's like I hear it's so good for you. Like all the is it omegas in it? Omega
Well, yeah,
oil.
it's like a super healthy fat. Like it's saturated fat. It's really healthy. It's high in everything.
Yeah.
So like it's a prime thing. It's just super high in calories. So
And I also heard it's good for like women's reproductive organs.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's true, but yeah, the research I done,
yeah,
that's what I saw. And I'm like, why is something so gross? You know, like good for me. Yeah, so sometimes I'll like just eat it, just like, but it has to be mixed in with something. You know what I mean? Like I can't just eat guacamole and chips.
no,
Or no.
I could just crush that.
Yeah, like that, or like if it calls for it on a sandwich, like, ooh, I just can't do it.
Oh, really?
It has to be in a salad or like mixed in with a salsa or something, you know what I mean?
You gotta have another flavor to kind of combat.
Yeah.
Like that
Like
flavor?
I can, cause I'm so blah about it. I still taste it, but at least I can handle it with something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's a good example. And another thing was like, Todd showed me this video where like, I don't mean to laugh because it was actually kind of sad, but like this overweight woman,
Yep.
like she was so used to eating bad
Yep.
that like she tried to eat an artichoke, but she was like just trying. She like only put it so far to her face, and she's like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like just gagging and like I can't. And then like she put it down, and like it showed her crying and everything. And I was like, holy shit! So there's like actually people like that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a whole nother podcast in itself, episode, just to
Right.
go delve deep into how much nutrition is such a huge part in your life. That remember when people say people spend a third of their life sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's important to get your sleep. And I believe in another huge part of it is eating. You're going to be eating a lot in like your life, but what you eat. I always tell people it doesn't just affect you in an hour, the next day, next week, or even a year. It could be 10 years.
Right.
Somebody who has a really bad diet from when they're, say, even just 15 to 25, they may feel okay, everything's good, everything's all right, but when they hit like even possibly 34, they could just have a heart attack just like that. And it's because of all that bad cholesterol that they built up, all that grease that's blocking their arteries. So I recently just studied a lot on like, I have a book on gut health, and it's so detailed on what something like kale, something like spinach, something like onions, what is inside of it, the vitamins, what it does for you in the long run, and it's how important to keep all of that like just healthy as possible and eating certain things because it's so important that you just eat well. I mean,
Yeah.
I would never be opposed to like even if you were like super strict and then you were like after like a couple months you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a burger. I know it's probably wrong. It's only because at that point you trained yourself to think this is wrong, which I think is a better approach to thinking.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have a salad, a Caesar salad. So much salt in it, and yet they're still like it's healthy though.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I know it's not.
Like I had a Caesar salad at the store, like those little small ones. It was only 70 calories, and there was only a little bit of Parm cheese and a little bit of bacon, but it was only 70 calories, and there was no dressing. So that thing was dry as ever, but it didn't bother me. Like I was
Yeah.
completely fine. Like I was like, I don't like dressing anyways. Like it's way too salty.
That's what's funny is like I'm not a big dressing fan either. Like if I do, I'd rather just use oil and vinegar.
Yeah,
Or
like,
even just the vinegar.
yeah, like a vinaigrette. Just mix
Yeah.
them together and then pour, and that's it.
Yeah. Like whether it's apple cider vinegar or sometimes I'll have balsamic.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'd still rather go with the apple cider. Pretty stinky, but hey, man, it's good.
Well, that's got like 1,000,001 benefits as well. Just apple cider vinegar. Like, there's so many things that has so many benefits, but it's hard to take people away from what they're used to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the hard thing for me. Just today, I actually made a healthy breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he should make me one.
Because it's just egg whites, turkey bacon. Both of those are 60 calories put together.
I would totally eat those.
And the biscuit is what I had the problem with. Like, what am I going to use? And when I found these sweet potato biscuits, I was like, holy
So
shit.
you made them?
I made sweet potato biscuits, and that's only 78 calories per biscuit. And you can make a batch of them and have them with soup, have them with stews, whatever you want, but they're all just 78 calories, and it's loaded with all that sweet potato. So you're getting so much complex carbs.
Yeah.
And you're using whole wheat. What was it? It was sweet potato, fat-free Greek yogurt, whole wheat flour, baking powder. It asked for nutmeg, but I used cinnamon and
Okay.
salt, and that's it.
Oh, really?
You mix all of your dries together, and you cook your sweet potatoes. And once they're cooked, like mashed potato-wise, you
Yeah.
let them cool to room temperature.
Yep.
Then you add your Greek yogurt, mix it all together. Then you add it to the dry because the dry is already ready to go. And then you just mix it up, take it out, knead it a little bit because if you knead it too much, then you're going to have real hard biscuits. You want flaky biscuits. So like you just knead it enough and then that's it. Roll it out to about 1 inch and then just pop them all out and that's all. And it's like and they taste good too. Like if you like sweet potato, then yeah, they taste just as well. Because I was gonna make a video on it next, so I was like, I just made these, but I do want to do a video. So, because I know somebody on Facebook asked me like, oh, can you like share these? What you're gonna do? And I was like, yeah, because I have ideas that I've seen people do, and I want to try for myself. So like cauliflower pizza, cauliflower tacos. I know this is a lot of cauliflower because I was just about to say cauliflower buffalo wings. Like I was gonna do those because cauliflower it's the one vegetable I don't like. I'll eat anything except cauliflower, but I'm like, maybe this is a way to eat it. And then
well, you'll have to let us know then.
Yeah, because and they're not hard. They're actually really easy. It just takes a little work, right? Yeah. But like anything takes work, I guess, to.
You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like, I've been like definitely making better choices. Yep. In what I'm eating, and I actually do have meal plans, but I also can admit I didn't follow it to a T. But what I did was I took what I already learned from it, and you know what, it does kind of get pricey too.
It can, yeah.
So that's why I'm not following it to a T. But I know basics, you know, like how to stay healthy, but those give me like different recipes, so it's not like I'm eating the same old thing all the time. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just taking what I already know from them and like just putting them where I need to. Yep. Yeah, but like, yeah, I will admit though I had a bad Saturday. But that's what I was telling Ashley too, is like, well, we're allowed to fall, but like you got to remember to get back up and like just continue. Yeah, you exactly. And not like
not dwell on it. Yeah, like
I already ate cake and you know whatever. So like,
well, just eat everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The world's over.
Yeah.
As you pull into the Mandarin.
Oh, that's great. At your phone. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, like that's what people need to remember too, right? Is like we're gonna fall. Like same thing when I quit drinking, you know. It's not like I was just like, oh yeah, I'm done with this and like that was it. Yeah. Like I did fall down a few times and then finally I just had enough. Well, you know that in my story.
Yeah. So like you just, that was it. I mean, I would tell anybody that if they're brand new to nutrition and dieting and everything like that, it's not going to be easy. Like I know for sure that for some reason I went cold turkey on carbs. I didn't eat carbs for like a month and a half, almost 2 months. Holy. And I cut like 30 pounds easy, but I know my body was like, there's nothing in there. There's no energy.
It felt weird, right?
Yeah, like it was
almost weak or something.
Yeah, like I was just like, oh, this is weird. Like I would go to restaurants still. Like I remember going to an Angel's with my mom, and I got steak and eggs. I ate the steak and I ate the eggs. I ate the fruit, but I did not touch the hash browns. And I even told the lady, I said, can I not have hash browns? And she must have been in her own world because she was like, yep. And she walked away. And then came back, all these hash browns. And I was like, I just ate around them. And that was it. Yeah. And yeah, like your body is like totally different. Because I think it's like that for everything though. Like I was trying a lot of diets and trying to like intermediate fasting. And like I even went vegan for a little bit. And I got sick off of both of them. Like I got sick off of intermediate fasting. I got sick off of being a vegan. I don't want to say those are bad. I just think maybe I didn't do enough research as I thought I did to get into them and try them out.
Yeah, like I think you have to ease your way into stuff like that and not just be like, all right, suddenly I'm going to be all vegan.
Because I did 2 weeks of vegan and I was like so sick by the end, like pukey and everything. I was like, I can't do this. And as soon as I ate meat, I just, boom, my energy levels went up and I started feeling normal again. But I don't think like eating meat's king. Like I do like meat, but it does have all the essential, amino acids that are inside. All 14 are found in the meat. And vegans, they have to like look for everything as they go around. So they're not just getting one piece of source from it like we are, like chicken or salmon or anything. They have to look for everything. So I think the only one they have is quinoa. I think that's the only one that has all the amino acids in there, and that's it.
Oh yeah.
Everything else, they gotta look for everything when it comes to everything. Because I was
like supplements. Like looking for extra stuff.
They'd have to supplement, with other stuff.
That makes sense because my sister, I don't want to say she's completely vegetarian because I've seen her eat fish. And
that is a level, though, to be honest. Like, I think there's 5 levels of vegetarians, and that is considered one of them. They will still eat fish.
And she eats eggs still, and like.
Well, that's still vegetarian, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like she won't like go out and have a hamburger like she used to, or like chicken fingers, or even pizza. Like I make sure if I'm gonna eat pizza with her, I'll get the, what is it called, meat-free pepperoni.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's like a vegetarian one, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like she's definitely not a vegan, but she's like more vegetarian, I would say. And when she made that big change, because she was more strict about it at first.
Yeah.
I know she like lost a lot of weight too, but she was like working out and stuff.
Yeah.
But like she felt tired a lot and like weak, and she didn't know why. So like she had to like start getting supplements from somewhere else.
Oh yeah, because she's missing things, right?
Yeah. And as soon as she got those, she felt better. And then she started eating the fish again, at least. Fish and eggs. So I think that's what she sticks with. And then probably like beans or whatever.
Yeah, like protein from other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Like, now, if you don't mind me asking, did she do it for a reason, or like?
Yeah.
Is it like, save the animals?
Animal cruelty.
Ah.
Yeah.
See, like, when people have a noble cause, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But, like, I don't know. I've seen some people who are just very like, you eat meat? Like, and you're just like, well, yeah, like, what else am I going to eat?
Yeah, like, they really look down upon it.
Yeah, almost like, we're beneath that. And it's like, well, not me. Like.
Yeah. No, she's not like that at all. She just, I don't know what happened. Like, you know what I mean? I can't say like, oh, she watched this, or like she learned this, or someone told her this. I don't know. It's just suddenly she just stopped.
Huh.
And she let us know, and then I just asked her why, and then my next question was, okay, so if I had deer meat from a hunter, would you eat that if I made it? And she said, yeah.
Oh, because I guess it's more natural then?
Yeah, because it's not being treated shitty.
Yeah,
you know, like not being kept in a cage and being pumped full of steroids and all that.
Yeah, and then like dragged
like
through machines and stuff.
Thrown around and whatever. Yeah. Like
just grab the legs.
Yeah, so that's just... And she's like one of those people who really care about animals. Like she really does.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's people who say they care so much and all that, but will eat.
Then they're wearing furs and alligator skin on and stuff like that.
Yeah, but no, she like cares about all of them.
She's one with the animals.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's like that kid from Where the Wild Things Are. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, but yeah, I totally support her decision though, and it's actually influenced my own dad too. Like he still eats meat, but like to just be more mindful about what he's eating.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like he eats less of it and stuff like that. So I think that's good, and it just kind of supports my lifestyle because like I'm not vegetarian or vegan, but I incorporate those into my lifestyle because of my stomach. That's why. So mine's more health related.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just watch what I eat. Yeah, like, and it's weird too, because on these meal plans, when I finally did go out, and yeah, I did have a burger and fries. When I finally did, and like when I was trying to go to sleep that night, I was like kind of like, oh, and then, Todd asked me like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I think I ate too much garbage today. Because I could just feel it like in my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like, it sounds like a lot of gut stuff, like a lot of like your gut health is like maybe affected by something. Did you ever like really look into it?
I tried, but more from a nutritional perspective and not so much like a doctor, like going in and looking or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, of course, because like there's just certain things you can't eat, right?
Yeah, like, especially if because like I started eating better, a lot better, and I did notice that I didn't feel that discomfort as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt okay, but like it wasn't perfect still. Like, protein affects me a certain way. I don't want to discuss it on here, but yeah, it affects me, and I know that, so I'm mindful about that too.
Yep.
And yeah, but anyway, I didn't feel like the way I felt that night, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it does come from like junky food.
Yeah, I was just talking with my brother earlier and saying that a lot of issues that people have, like anything you can name, whether it's like thyroids, whether it's like you get constant headaches, somebody's always gassy, someone's having pains, like well, not really pains, but like certain things that is usually associated with nutrition. Like it can always be dealt with first by just changing your diet. Like I use myself as an example. Just recently, I went to the doctors because I was having issues with, I was having all this phlegm. Like I don't know what it is, but I was always getting like very phlegmy to the point where if I didn't spit it out, I would actually start vomiting, like gagging,
really?
like really badly.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctors, and she was just like, why don't you just take Tums, and if it worsens, we'll see what happens. So I just was like, okay. Then I thought about it for a while, and I was like, I bet you it's like nutrition-wise. That's why it came to my head. So now that I went on this super strict 12-week diet again, I haven't had that issue.
Really?
Like I haven't had that issue of like spitting up all kinds of phlegm and stuff again.
Yeah.
And the last time I ever had it, I remember me and Ashley went out to eat for one last meal before I did it. And we went to Milestones, and we got some stuff. And I think I had this Montreal braised beef stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I ate that. We had these supreme fries or something like that. And it was really good stuff. Anyways, it was greasy. So I was like starting to spit, and I was like, okay, now I get it. It's the grease. Anything that's super greasy is what brings all that up. And when I take Tums, it goes away. But I don't want to feel like, oh, whatever, just have Tums. So like,
yeah.
But now that I've done this diet, I've never had that issue. It's like completely gone. And I feel like, well, I think that's the truth. Because I recently bought a bunch of books that go into that. That just says, if you're suffering from this, eat this. If this is bothering you, you can eat this. So I do try to tell people that it is nutrition. All you have to do is change your diet. There's people who have type 2 diabetes, and they got down to just not even taking insulin anymore. They're down to taking a pill. And that's it. But it's because they work out and they eat.
Yeah.
There's people who have that rheumatoid arthritis, that real bad one.
Yeah.
Same thing. There's a woman who is down to just taking one pill, and she does never feel sore anymore. But it's because she eats right and she exercises. So there's these two things that just constantly are easy to do, right? Like it's just something simple. But I know it's hard to get people going right away.
Yeah, it's hard habits
Yep.
to break. I know that because I'm there now, Like, it's weird because the first week of my meal change,
Yep.
that was, like, even though it was difficult because I was so used to, like, crap, right?
Yep.
It was easier than the second week.
Oh,
The
really?
second week was harder for me to stick to it because I was craving everything. I don't know why it wasn't the first week. Mine was the opposite. Because I even felt all those weird feelings like, oh, I don't feel good and I'm tired and like I almost feel sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that went away in like a couple days, if that. And then it was fine. I just thought the hardest part was like making sure I planned everything accordingly.
Yep.
So I could fit it all in, right? That took a lot of time. I won't lie. I'm like, dang, how does Dagon do this all the time?
I think I just fell into a mold finally.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
even right now, I'm just like in a mold where I just like, I know what I'm going to make, how many days it's going to last. Like that picture I took on Instagram of all that food, that was about $122 and it lasted me 2 weeks.
See, like the plan I'm on, I'm spending like that much for 1 week.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
a
I'm
little
like,
much.
That's what I was trying to explain to her. I'm like, I'm not white. I don't have money just, coming out like that. So I had to modify some things.
To find alternates to change things up. Because one of the biggest things I know they'd probably say is like, oh, get salmon. It's like, well, who's got like $12 a pound to spend?
And not even just that, like any kind of fish, they're always calling for some sort of fish, whether it's salmon, wild caught shrimp, or what's that other one, rainbow trout.
Oof.
Yeah,
those are pricey.
Yeah, I know, and I'm like, I did get half of that salmon that she asked for.
Yep.
Remember when I cooked it?
Yep.
But like she wanted double that, and I was like, no, not happening.
Just gotta work with what you got, right? That's the tricky thing with people is finding. Like, you don't want to be snooty. How much money do you make? It's just like, I don't know how much you make, but you give people the list, and I guess they have to go find out for themselves if they can actually afford it. And if they can't, then they're like, oh, well, I can't buy this all the time. Then I think it's up to the person to come back to be like, okay, then I'll add this, try this, and this, and this. Like, whether people like it or not, whether they want to say anything or not, I think they have to go with frozen fish sometime.
Yeah, I did that once.
Yeah, because I do that a lot. Like, I will buy fresh salmon, not all the time, but I do buy a lot of frozen fish, and I eat that a lot. Because it's easier to prepare, I can get a lot of it, and it's available, like it's there.
It's definitely cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm so picky too, like I can't bring myself to pick a fish that came from the Pacific Ocean. I just can't. It's just because of that damn nuclear spill.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. Like, I swear I had just a basic can of tuna. It wasn't nothing special. When I opened it, it just looked fucked up. I mean, messed up. So I was like, oh, I don't want this. And I just threw it away. Because I even showed Todd, I'm like, would you eat that? Seriously? And he's like, no, that looks weird. So I just threw it away. But I did find that tuna you told me about.
Skipjack tuna?
Yeah, and it looks legit.
It's legit.
I think it even has the non-GMO thing on it.
Yeah, and that's the one that's not being overfished.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing is like skipjack tuna. There's like more of it than us on the planet, so it's like it's better to eat that because it's not going extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found I know you didn't tell me about them, but I found some decent canned salmon where it's not gross and like full of bones.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was like organic too or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, he ate my other can. I'm like, why'd you do that?
Oh.
I know this just totally turned into like a whole.
Just like, what are you eating?
Thing.
What are you eating? Well, I mean, I think some people are wondering if I'm going to do it or not, so kind of fits in. So, but yeah, so we're just about clocking at 2:12, so.
Oh, really?
I think we can kind of end it here for now then.
Okay.
Because we put in a pretty good episode, so like I said, it goes on as long as it does.
Okay.
Any final thoughts? Final words?
Go get your GEDs. Like I said, no, just kidding.
They're good enough diplomas.
Yeah, they're good enough diplomas. Just kidding.
All right, then. Well, is that it?
Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay, then. We'll have to do this again sometime again. Check up in a couple months, see what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
But all right, so this is pretty good for the one of the first episodes we're going to start doing, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And all right, then, so I'll see you next time. Yugiwa.
Nagiwa.
All right, everybody, that was it for episode 2. Hope you enjoyed it. It was very awesome to record and go over, and I hope so. Like I said, I hope you enjoy as much as I did doing it. Now, I hope these podcasts continue to go on. I'd like to thank you for listening to episode 2 and continue to be ever more. And just remember, every Sunday, where I'm going to be releasing a new episode, and it's always going to be with a guest, or sometimes it's just going to be me giving out some good old advice on nutritional facts and workouts and stuff like that. But other than that, I hope you continue to listen through, and thanks so long for being with me on this journey. So until next time, everybody, I'll see you then.